welcome in Dan Servodidio here to help break down the NFL draft with us because there is so much to get to. And most recently, as we see the favorite to be the number one overall pick has now flipped. And not only has it flipped, Dan, it's gone even heavier in the direction in the last 24 hours to Trayvon Walker now, who is a minus 200 favorite over Aiden Hutchinson to be the number one overall pick. From a purely draft standpoint, forget the betting standpoint, is Trayvon Walker the number one overall pick in your opinion?
I know, crazy odds movement yesterday. That was like the big news yesterday morning. Seeing him flip to be the favorite, the number one pick, and then Hutchinson now the favorite to be the number two pick. If you're looking at that spot, but so this draft, I mean, last year we had Trevor Lawrence clearly going to be the number one pick. Everyone knew it. The Jaguars needed a quarterback. This draft doesn't have like a clear cut number one pick. I'm sure you guys would agree with that, and that's why I think everyone just kind of penciled in Hutchinson. But Walker has gotten the buzz. GM Trent Baalke for the Jaguars has been, people are pointing to some of the higher upside picks he's made in the past. Aldon Smith was one of them when Baalke was with the 49ers. So maybe that's the direction that he's looking to go here, just taking a higher upside, maybe slightly riskier pick than Hutchinson. But the other thing I'm looking at with the Jaguars is they run a 3-4 defense, and Walker's skill set kind of fits in better there. Georgia's defense was one that rotated guys in, and Walker was a guy that played inside, a little on the edge too. So he's not like a pure edge rusher like Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau we know in this draft. So it kind of fits better for the Jaguars, and it makes sense to me.
Jared, we've seen four different favorites, at least to my recollection here. Now with Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, Evan Neal, and Kayvon Thibodeau have all been favorites to be the number one overall pick in this draft. So where do you sit on the number one overall pick?
I think it's Walker. Listen, when it comes to the draft, the steam does not lie with this stuff. Unlike an NBA game or a college basketball game or an NFL game, the ball can bounce in funny directions once the game starts. The sharp money's all on one side and it moves the line, a point, 2 points. And then the game starts and something weird, fluky happens that not even the smartest, sharpest mind could predict. That's not the case with the NFL draft. There is no algorithms or data or anything. It's all based off of news, and that means it's a race to the window. And I think when you get that news and you see that line steam significantly in a very short period of time, like it did yesterday, especially the last move in the draft tends to be the one that's the final nail in the coffin. We have seen multiple different players favored to be number one. Now it's Walker, and it's significantly Walker. I saw minus 200 in some shops here in town. To me, that is the move, and you missed it, but it's pretty obvious now that Walker's going to be the number one overall pick.
The only thing I'll add in reference to it, I did see reports is that Trent Baalke, as you mentioned, wants Trayvon Walker, but owner of the Jaguars, Ahmad Khan, wants Aiden Hutchinson. And we know how those arguments go, and we know who wins those arguments. It's usually the owner to the detriment of the football team. Is it a bad bet right now to take plus money on Aiden Hutchinson in either of your opinions?
I would actually look to take plus money on one of the tackles, like Ekwonu has been a name I have looked at in recent weeks because we saw like reports that Doug Peterson, an offensive-minded coach, might want to tackle in that spot to kind of build production for this year and next year, years down the line for Trevor Lawrence. So I was thinking Ekwonu could be the name or Evan Neal. So if there is a name, I wouldn't take Hutchinson. I think if they're going to edge, if they're going pass rusher, it's going to be Walker over Hutchinson for sure now. But I think there's juice on Ekwonu that's now interesting to me. But maybe they're just driving up the price for Walker, trying to get a team to trade up to number one. So that's something also to consider.